All right, Anthony, what's happening, man? Here we go. Week one's finally here. So
Yes,
excited.
yeah. Live football,
Football's
baby.
back. Football's back. Our pick segment is back. Again, we've done this for about 4 years now. We run through all the picks. It's a lot of fun. We get Anthony riled up in some cases. So hang in there. Hang on tight. Let's just kick it off with our Super Bowl picks. One team from the
Ooh.
NFC, one team to represent the AFC. I know I'll go first because you said you had a surprise team. And then mine aren't so surprising. I like Buffalo out of the AFC for a lot of reasons we've already talked about. I just don't think there's a lot of teams that can put up 40 points in the playoffs. Buffalo, to me, I think they'll be just like they were last year. Might be tough getting to the playoffs, but if they get in, watch out. What we saw from Josh Allen last year cannot be replicated. The only person that could do that, I think, is Pat Mahomes. And I think Kansas City's a step back than what they were last year. So I'll go Buffalo out of the AFC. My NFC pick, and I've gone back and forth on this a few times, but I'm going to lock it in tonight. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be my NFC pick.
It's a good pick, yeah.
I mean, you got a head coach on the field. I like Todd Bowles as a defensive coach. Now there's no clash of ideas on offense where Bruce Arians and Tom Brady were arguing and fighting or whatever they were doing. I like, Mike Evans. You still got Chris Godwin there. I think the Bucs can do a lot. Brady had a great statistical year last year. Expect him to come in motivated, and I love the defense. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay, Buffalo.
Oh, boy.
Buffalo wins it all. Let's do it.
Well, thank you, but that makes me nervous with that Bills versus Brady matchup. God knows he is the absolute bane of my existence, still has caused me more pain than any other human being on earth. And I just, that would just make every Bills fan probably more nervous inside. You can lose a Super Bowl and rebound from it, but if you lose a Super Bowl to Tom freaking Brady, oh my God, that would be an absolute nightmare.
46-year-old Tom Brady.
Oh God, no, it won't happen. It's impossible. Not going to happen. I will not allow it. Will not. But my picks from the AFC, it's not going to surprise you. I have the Buffalo Bills beating the Ravens in the AFC Championship game to make it to the Super Bowl. I think this is the Bills' year. The Bills have to make it. You got to overcome that. You're the favorite by far. Stay healthy, and there's no reason you can't do it. So Bills in the AFC facing the Minnesota Vikings, who beat the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. So I think the Eagles and the Vikings are two underrated teams in this mostly wide open NFC at this point. Any team could really come out of it. The Bucs do have the best roster in the NFC, I think, but I really like this Minnesota team as an underrated team in the NFC, and the Eagles, who are uprising and probably win the division over Dallas, but I'll take the Bills over Minnesota in the Super Bowl. Going to be a fun one.
You like a first-year head coach in Kevin O'Connell going to the Super Bowl year one. Man, I got to get me some of that. Sean,
this has to be right. I'm telling you, this has to be one of the best rosters a first-year coach has ever inherited. Right? I mean, you can't just walk in the door and be, oh, great, I have this Minnesota Vikings team that only fired their coach because he couldn't get over the hump.
I do like the roster. I like Minnesota a lot. The first-year head coach thing, I can't get past that. One of the youngest coaches, if not the youngest coach in the NFL as well. But yeah, I gotta apply for an internship with the Rams so I can touch some Sean McVay coffee and
come around him and
coaching
job for life.
And then boom, you go right to the Super Bowl from there. Yeah. So no, I like the Vikings as a whole. I think Kirk Cousins been playing better than people give him credit for. So
yes,
I can see the pick. I like it. Something new. Finally, something new. I had to pick Tom Brady, but I'm going with the safe pick.
Do you have a team that the Bills beat in the AFC Championship game to get to the Super Bowl?
Oh, it's got to be Kansas City or the Chargers. I think they'll both be there, but let's just do Kansas City.
Okay.
Because the Bills got to overcome that 13 seconds. That would be, for me, if
beautiful.
You beat Kansas City in the championship game and then you beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, I'm in football heaven.
Poetic justice. That is, you could not write a better script. That's what the Bills would like to happen in history. As long as they win it all, that's great.
But yeah, let's get into week one. A lot of great matchups this week. Very excited to get going again. And let's kick it off here. We got the Saints -5.5 at Atlanta. What's your thoughts here?
Well, you know that I'm pretty high on both of these teams to be better than expected. But I have to take the Saints to win this one in Atlanta. I have the Saints -5.5 as well. So I'm taking the Saints to win the game and the Saints -5.5. The Falcons, although I do like the direction they're going and the pieces they have, I don't think they're quite good enough. And this Saints team is good enough to compete with almost anybody in the NFL at this point.
Yeah, I like the Saints. It really comes down to the quarterback play for me. Marcus Mariota, hasn't been the starter in a while. What are we going to see? I think the NFL's changed a lot to favor his game. So there's a lot to like there. And Jameis Winston as well gets hurt last year. I thought he was playing pretty decent before his injury. So that really is what it comes down to for me. But I like Jameis Winston in this one. I'm going to go Saints as well.
I'm taking the over in this game as well. I think 42.5. I think it's just above that, but I like both of these teams to score more points, and I think their offenses are going to be mainly what is taking over the game. So I'll go over 42.5.
Yeah, I think I prefer the under on this one. I think they're going to run the football. It's going to be short underneath games. Look, the 30 interception year that Jameis Winston had, every coach in the NFL is going to tell him, don't throw the ball deep. Give it to Alvin Kamara. So I like the under 42 for week one. All right, let's move on to Baltimore, -7 at the New York Jets without Zach Wilson.
Yes, with Joe Flacco at quarterback. So here's another bit of a story in the NFL. Joe Flacco going back to face the Ravens with this Jets roster. But the Jets have, I know a lot of these matchups in week one that we're going to talk about. But even though the Jets have Joe Flacco, who's how old now, it's the Ravens bringing back Lamar Jackson and him being healthy. And I think that I have to take the Ravens here, even with the points -7. So I think the Ravens win the game. They win it handedly by more than 2 touchdowns. I think -7 is an easy line to pick the Ravens. The only thing here is, do they have a little bit of rust? Putting those pieces back together, having a little bit of change on that offense, can they still be the force that they once were with Lamar Jackson at the helm? I think this is a great game to go ahead and get back on track with.
Yeah, I'll take Baltimore as well. Joe Flacco, I'd like to see him, beat his former team. That would be entertaining. I just don't see it. A lot of rookies on the Jets, a lot of young players. Lamar Jackson reports are coming out. They're not close on contract negotiations. Added motivation for him. So I'll take the under on 44.5, and I'll take Baltimore.
I have the over in this game, actually. I do think the Jets can still score points with that offense led by Joe Flacco, but Baltimore is going to be the one commanding most of the points in this game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a blowout, and it's going to be garbage time at the end. So let's go New England Patriots +3.5 at Miami, a place they normally don't play well.
Yeah, this is one of my pick six in the top 3 of my pick six. I really like this Miami roster. They have everything that they could build on, whereas New England is kind of confused at this point on offense. Is it still this Bill Belichick, going to make magic happen? I think this Dolphins roster is just too good for them on both sides of the ball. So I'm taking Miami -3.5 at home.
Yeah, this one's interesting because it really does come down to Tua Tagovailoa. If he plays well, Miami is what they're supposed to be, and everyone moves on, and everyone's happy. If he doesn't play well, New England could be sneaky and win this one. I'm going to take New England at +3.5.
Wow.
I just think that they're going to throw a lot at Tua. It's going to confuse him. I think the pressure is going to kind of get to him, and he's going to try to do too much, make mistakes. And I know this Patriots team, as dysfunctional as we've heard, they will not make any mistakes in this game. So
are you taking
New England
to win?
To win.
And with the points, obviously. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm taking the under in this game. I think 46 is too high for these two teams to combine for. New England still plays stout defense, even though Miami has the better offense. I think they score more points. Obviously, they're going to get the win. So I'm at the under for this one.
Yeah, I go under as well. I just don't think these teams are designed to, run up the scoreboard, especially week one, especially with the uncertainties that we've
first of many, many, many division matchups this week, by the way, and those games are always competitive, always hard to face a team that knows you very well. But this is week one where you have a totally different team. Maybe that gives the underdog a little bit of an edge as well. In this game, I'm still taking Miami.
And I'll go New England. All right, let's move on to Cleveland plus 1.5 at Carolina. Again, the Baker Mayfield duo, another matchup with a quarterback faces his former team. I already know where you're going with this one.
Yes, this was my sixth pick in my pick six. I'm betting on Cleveland. I think Cleveland has the better roster. I think Cleveland, with Nick Chubb and that defense, have what it takes to beat Carolina, even though they have a healthy CMC coming back in this game. He's the best running back / receiver combo there is in the NFL, but is he healthy enough to come back and give it 100%? And even if he is, can he overcome the Browns on defense? And you have Baker at quarterback, and I just don't trust Baker. I think he's going to try too hard in this game, and because of that, I'm taking Cleveland with the points.
And I do like Cleveland's roster. However, this Carolina roster is also, one of the top rosters in the league. A lot of young players, a lot of top picks. But
roster, I want to go top roster in the league.
I mean, I think they are. They have a top roster, in my opinion. Maybe just missing the quarterback. Could use some receiver help, but I like their defense. I like Jeremy Chin. Love JC Horn. Like to see a little more. CJ Henderson on that roster. Derek Brown in the middle. Lot to like here. CMC healthy. I take Carolina in a close one. I just think Jacoby Brissett makes mistakes that Carolina doesn't. So I'm going to take Carolina.
Okay.
Over under 41.5. Again, I'm going under this one.
I took the over in this one. I do think both offenses are a little bit potent, but I expect, Cleveland to pull it off and end up maybe at the end of the game scoring a few more points to put the over.
Yeah, I think it's under. I think it's low scoring.
We're at odds here. I like this. It's week one. It's
what
chaos,
it's all about,
baby. I love
it. Okay, Pittsburgh plus 6.5 at Cincinnati. This is the first time in their history that they've played each other in week one.
Wow, really? I did not know that. That's surprising. Really? A division rival in the first time you're playing them in week one? Well, in this game, I think Cincinnati does win. They have the better roster. They're coming off the Super Bowl. We're not sure what's going to happen with that Pittsburgh offense, but I'm taking Cincinnati minus 6.5. So I'm taking them to win the game and by more than 6.5 points. I think they win by at least 7 to 10. Again, division rival. These are always tough games, even though you might think the Bengals are this top team in the AFC. You're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's always difficult, but I'll take the Ravens to win, or the Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals to win by 7 to 10 points. So the Bengals plus minus 6.
You are very high in the Ravens this year. You want them to beat teams.
I know, right? Good call. They're playing the Jets, so
they're
that's
not the championship game yet. We're still in week one here, so I'm going to go Bengals as well. I think they're just more complete right now. They don't have question marks at quarterback. Mitch Trubisky, I don't know what kind of Mitch Trubisky we're going to get. Are we going to get the athlete, the quarterback that we all think he can be, or are we going to get the same old Mitch Trubisky who hesitates, who doesn't make good decisions? I think we get that Mitch Trubisky, so I'm going to go Cincinnati and under over 44.5. What's your thoughts there?
I'm taking the under just because division battle, defensive battle. I do think that Cincinnati can put up some points, but I'm staying under the 44.5.
I think I'm leaning towards the under, but I think I would take the over just because, the air raid offense that Cincinnati runs is designed to score a lot of points. I think Mitch Trubisky, although I think he'll make some bad decisions, he can throw the ball around. And I think there's some good receiving talent there. So I think this could be a high-scoring game, so I'll take the over on that one.
All right.
Okay, next one. San Francisco minus 7 at the Chicago Bears, who are moving their stadium, by the way. I don't know if you heard that or not. They're going to move to a different area of Chicago, which is very interesting. So good thing to announce that right before the season starts.
Yeah, I'm sure some people are upset about that and others are happy. So it goes both ways on that. But this game is going to be the same result either way. And that is the 49ers are one of the top teams in the NFC, I think. And for them to be 7 points, again, week one, you never know what's going to happen. The Bears, though, I think are still one of the worst teams in the NFL record-wise when it's all said and done. So I'm taking San Francisco minus 7 to win by maybe up to 14 points.
Yeah, I like San Francisco as well, and that's the bet I would take. But I would not be surprised if Justin Fields comes out, looks like a real quarterback, and pulls this win off. I don't think it's likely, but we saw flashes in the preseason. I always liked Justin Fields as a prospect, so I would not be surprised if see something like that. But Trey Lance as well on the other side, I just don't think he'll get a lot of passing opportunities. So I'm going to take San Francisco. I trust Kyle Shanahan's run game. Take them, and I'll take the under as well because there's two running teams here.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same thing. It's the under here. So I just exactly. They're both going to run the ball well. They're both going to eat clock up. It's going to get to the end of the game. Maybe both offenses could score more, but time is a problem here. So I'm taking the under.
All right, we got Jacksonville plus 2.5 at the Washington Commanders, who formerly were a football team.
The football team, no more. But this is, again, one of my top 6 bets of the week. So obviously, I think Washington is going to win the game, and I think they'll win by more than 2.5 points. So I have them on both sides of that. I think this roster is being underrated from where it was held last year. The results clearly weren't what they wanted last year, but they lost their quarterback just before the season, at the beginning of the season, had to go without all year. And now they have some stability at quarterback. They have the running backs back and healthy. They still have the names on defense. I think this is the year they could start to build some momentum in the right direction. And when you're facing the Jaguars week 1, that's a good place to start.
Okay, so you're going Commanders. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they'll have a more mature quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. I think Travis Etienne coming back to the lineup is important for Trevor because there's familiarity there, right? Throwing the ball out of the backfield is a strength at Clemson. Saw it in the preseason. I thought they looked great. They looked comfortable in the preseason. Travis Etienne is a really talented player. But really what I like about them is their defense, right? I think their defense started to show some flashes last year. I like the fact that they can possibly step up against a new quarterback in Carson Wentz. So I'd go Jacksonville, under over 43.5. I would go under in this game.
Okay.
Eagles -4 at Detroit.
Yes, this is my big bet of the week. So obviously, I'm pretty excited about this one. Although the Lions have a lot to be excited about, and I'm high on the Lions as well for where they're predicted to be. The Eagles are my pick to make it to the NFC Championship game. I think they have an excellent roster. I think they put the pieces together this year. Excellent balance between veterans and young players, and that is what you want in a successful team. So I'll take the Eagles to win by at least a touchdown in this one. So the Eagles and the point spread here.
Okay, I'm going to take Eagles as well. The Lions, they'll run through a wall for their coach, but it's not going to be in this game. I like the Eagles roster. I think they're talented in every position group. Because they are a run-first team, I'm going to take the under on the 48.5 as well. So I'm going Eagles -4, under on the 48.5.
I am also on the under for that one, 48.5. Yep.
Okay, for the same reasons, I assume. 2 run teams.
Exactly.
Okay. Getting into the 4:00 games now. We got the Colts -7 at Houston.
Yeah, I mean, the Houston Texans, again, if you've listened to our division previews, if you haven't, go back and tune in because there's a lot of content in there as well. I actually like this Houston Texans roster. I think they have a lot of pieces that will build toward a successful future. But are they ready to win now? And are they ready to compete and make it closer than 7 points a game? I'm not sure here. And Indy is just such a great roster and is already at the point of success with their new quarterback. Maybe that makes a difference here, but I'm taking Indy -7.
Okay, and I did have this game backwards. This is a 1:00 game. Got this one mixed up, but Colts -7 at Texans. I go Colts here. I like Jonathan Taylor. Love Matt Ryan. I think that play action game is going to be dangerous. And I'll take the under on the 45.5. I think Jonathan Taylor just has a day. Although I do like the Texans defense moving forward. It takes a few weeks, right? So I go Colts. Now
I'm also going with the under there. I just don't think either team can put up massive amount of points. So although the Colts win, the most they're going to get probably is 28 in my mind. So that would still land under the 45 mark if they win by more than a touchdown.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Now we're into the 4:00 games, 4:25. There we go. Okay, New York Giants plus 5.5 at Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee in this one. I know it sounds like I'm taking another favorite here, but the Titans, I think, with Derrick Henry back and healthy, have the roster that is capable of beating up on teams like the Giants, who are in rebuild-ish mode with a new coach, but not a new quarterback, and Danny Dimes has to put up or shut up. I just don't know if I believe they can do it against Derrick Henry and the Titans, regardless of the changes that the Titans have had. So give me the Titans. I think they win by at least a touchdown, if not more.
Right. This is a 9-11 game. The Sunday is the 11th of September. So, I think the Giants come in inspired. New coach, right? Danny Dimes playing for his life is what's going to feel like. But again, I think the Tennessee Titans are just too much. Derrick Henry, I think he'll have a day. I think he'll come back as good as he's ever been. And then they're not going to have answers for that. So I go Tennessee at home. Over under, I'm taking the under on this one. Again, I think they run through Derrick Henry, limit Ryan Tannehill, and the Giants should look into doing that themselves.
Yeah, I also have the under in this game. I just don't think the points are going to be on the board much for the Giants. And even with the run game in Tennessee running out the clock again, that's going to prevent the 43.5 total.
Okay. Another divisional matchup, the Green Bay Packers minus 1.5 at the Super Bowl favorite Minnesota Vikings.
Well, I think you know where I'm going with this one. If the Minnesota is going to make it, I have them winning the division. If they're going to win the division, they got to beat Green Bay, period. That's where it starts. That's where it ends. I think that this game favors Minnesota because of the fact that Green Bay is dealing with a lot of weapons changes. We already heard Aaron Rodgers call out the wide receiver core. Although you have Aaron Rodgers and he's going to be in the game and get the most out of those players regardless, I think this gives Minnesota a little bit of an edge. So I'm picking the Vikings to win this game and get off on the right foot. And obviously that means I'm taking them with the points as well.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I like Minnesota as well. I'm gonna bet the Packers though, just because I think these teams are good, very evenly matched. Close. Right? I like Minnesota's receivers, but I really like Green Bay's defense along with their run game. Aaron Rodgers, I think he's not going to light it up with these young receivers. I think they'll be limited, but I do love A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. I think it's a close game, but I think Green Bay pulls it off at the end with the experience. And again, because it's close and it's run heavy, going under 47 for this game.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking the over in this game. Always seems to come down to a high points and touchdown scored in the fourth quarter. Maybe they'll be at 30 total points going into the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden 3 touchdowns come out of nowhere. So I'm taking the over on this game.
All right, and Kansas City -6 at Arizona.
Yeah, this is a tough one because Arizona is a good team. They have Kyler Murray. They're not going to have D-Hop for this game, but they've got Brown, who they traded for, and Kansas City coming in with a lot to prove, minus Tyreek Hill. What are they going to be like on offense? I actually like the Arizona Cardinals with the points, but I think Kansas City gets the win in this game just barely, maybe by 3 points, but less than 6. So give me Arizona with the points +6, but Kansas City on the money line to win.
Yeah, I'll go Kansas City as well. Like I said, I think there's a lot of motivation for this Kansas City team to come in and play well, whereas last year, we saw that slump. I don't think that's the case. I think we will see a lot more rush attempts. Maybe that throws off Arizona, but I think Kansas City can move the football running the ball. As far as the over-under at 53.5, I almost want to take the over on this one.
Yeah.
I think they're both in the 30s. I think 2 good quarterbacks, very talented. I think both of them could run. Both of them can throw. So I think this is a high-scoring game.
Yeah, high-powered offense. I think this is the one, even though the number is high, 53.5, you got to take the over just because, both teams are going to try and light up that scoreboard.
For sure. That's going to be a fun one to watch. Okay, last game of the 4:00 games, the Raiders plus 3.5 at the Los Angeles Chargers.
Go Chargers, go. Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers in this matchup. They have a heck of a lineup now. They've made all the changes in the offseason. What a rematch. We're talking about the Raiders and the Chargers. Remember the last game of the regular season last year when the Chargers were a shoo-in to win the game and go to the playoffs and had their own fate in their hands, and what ended up happening? The Raiders beat the Chargers, and everything else happens to send the Raiders to the playoffs over the Chargers. That was a phenomenal game, a shocking ending to that one. I think the Chargers are out with revenge. They're going to have the daggers in their hand, ready to throw directly at the Raiders. Again, a divisional matchup that was really important in the long term of this very competitive division now. But I think the Chargers have the edge in almost every category. So I'll take the Chargers to win by more than 3.5 points. It's not going to come down to a field goal in this one.
Yeah, I like the Chargers as well. I think they're getting all the hype for the division, for the AFC, and I think that's a justified, right? I think they're going to come in pissed off. They don't like the way things ended last year. They're tired of being second to the Kansas City Chiefs. They have the talent. They have the coaching this year to really take a step for one of those top seeds in the AFC. I think it starts here, and I think the Chargers pulled this one off. So I'll take the Chargers, and I'm going to go over on the 52.5. I think to keep up with Justin Herbert, you're going to have to throw the ball to Devontae Adams a lot. So because of that, I think they both push up the score.
Yeah, I agree. This is the NFL today, right? With these two gunslinger quarterbacks and the way they're going to want to do it. You could have Austin Eckler dominating the game too, I guess, but I still believe that point total is going to be over 52.5.
Yep, high yardage in that one for sure. Okay, Sunday Night Football. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers minus 2.5 at the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, this one is in my top 6. I think that it just weighs heavily in the Bucs' favor right now. Dallas is hurting in a lot of ways, changing offensive line, lacking the wide receivers. The Bucs, although Tom Brady is coming off his missing training camp, he's Tom Brady. It's good that he missed training camp. He's probably more healthy and ready to go. I just think they have the edge in almost every category. They have one of the best rosters in the NFL. The defense, even if Tom Brady wasn't at 100%, an average QB could do well with this offense. So give me the Bucs. Give me the Bucs minus 2.5, and probably to win big in this one, actually. And the over again in this game. I think points are going to be scored across the board. So 50.5, I'll take the over.
Yeah, I like Tampa Bay as well. Dallas still could stay in this game. Dallas could easily win this game. I'm just not sure who they're throwing the ball to. Amari Cooper goes to Cleveland. Michael Gallup not fully healthy. I like Tampa Bay in this one, and over-under. I'll go under. I mean, Tampa Bay is really not a pass-heavy team, although they pass the ball a lot. I think they prefer to run the ball first and play defense. That's what Tom Brady's used to. That's what he enjoys doing. So I'll go under on 50.5. Okay, last one on the week, Monday night, the Russell Wilson game. Here we go. Reports coming out of the Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson drama. It's been kind of interesting to watch. I always wonder why Seattle is scouting other quarterbacks, so I guess we know now. Anyway, Denver minus 6.5 at Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not take Denver here, right? They have the better roster overall. Seattle is one of the worst in the NFL, if you ask me. Although they have some things to be excited about, I'm not sure they could really compete in this one. With Russell Wilson returning to Seattle, with this Broncos squad that for the last few years we've said is a quarterback away from really competing in this AFC. And they have to come out and make a statement. I think they will. I think they're better at the run. I think they're better at the pass. I think they're better at defense. Minus 6.5 is a low line for this game with Russell Wilson returning. He just can't let it get to his head. And I don't think he's the type of guy to let that happen, right? His personality doesn't bode with that. He's a pretty calm, cool guy, although his energy will be high, and I'm sure his heart will be racing. He's going to be able to get it together for this one. And I'll take the under on the points, actually. I don't think The Broncos, again, they're pretty good at the run game. They're going to balance out. They're going to play good defense, but I think they keep the total under 44.5.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm tempted to pick Seattle here.
Ooh.
Just because I think they have a lot of speed that's being overlooked. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant, fast tight end. I like that. I like Geno Smith's deep ball. That's one of his strengths. I mean, I'm tempted to do it, but Russell Wilson simply cannot let that happen.
Yeah.
And he will not let that happen. He will do whatever it takes to get the win here. So I will go Denver on the bet, but I think people are overlooking the Seattle offense just a little bit.
You're taking Denver to win the game, but not by 6.5, or are you taking them on the line?
Good point. I'll take them on the line as well.
With the spread, yeah, minus 6.5. Oh, so you think they win by more than a touchdown?
But I think Seattle's in it, and I'm going to say Denver pulls away at the end.
Okay.
In garbage time. So I'll go 10. I'm going to go over on the 44.5, just because I think these are two pass-heavy teams. I'm not sure Chris Carson leaves Seattle. I don't know what their run game's doing, right? Got a rookie running back in Kenny Walker. But I think there's this pass-heavy. It's back and forth a little bit. Both teams will score in the 20s. So I'm going to go over 44.5.
I'd still consider Denver a run-first team, but that's okay.
Javonte Williams, I like them. But,
yeah.
But, I mean, this receiving core, you cannot deny that.
That's true. They do have a
Portland
very good
Sutton,
receiving
Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler. You got to use those weapons,
Beautiful.
Okay, lot to unpack. We're back, though. Week 1. So excited. Make sure you tune in with us Sunday for the post-game tailgate. It'll be live on the Hoof YouTube channel. We'll give you the reaction to the Sunday games. Starts at 7 o'clock. Be sure to be there. Check us out next week for our Tuesday reaction show. We'll give you a bunch of segments on reactions to the week, kind of the lead storylines, odds that come out. And then Thursday, we'll get you ready for week 2. Be sure to tune in with us on all the major podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel, The Hoof. Anthony, what you got?
Toss your hat in the ring. It's week 1, baby. Remember, week 1, always difficult to predict. Don't bet your money. Don't bet the house on anything, right? Anything can happen in week 1 in the NFL. Be modest, be careful, save that money for later in the season when you're more confident in what's going to happen. So do it, get out there, put your bets in, get excited. Never bet more than you can handle, but remember, week 1 is always risky, risky, risky. Toss your hat in the ring.
Spend that Christmas money. It's only week 1.